Hi guys, it's Debbie and today I would like to speak about 13 Reasons Why. It is a brand new TV series available on Netflix and based on a novel of the same name written by J. Asher. There won't be any spoilers throughout this video, but before I start to speak, I would just like to point out one thing. This is not a happy series. It is interesting, important, beautiful, heartbreaking, but it is not happy or funny. If you are looking for a light comedy drama, coming of age story about lucky love, friendships and the misfortunes that may happen during the teenage years, this is not the case. 13 Reasons Why is the story of Hannah Baker, the main character and narrator of the story. Hannah is a beautiful 17-year-old girl portrayed by Catherine Langford, and although she is the main character of this series, she narrates all the episodes through a series of cassettes that she recorded before committing suicide. Unfortunately, Hannah's life was corrupted by a series of events, decisions, and her peers' behaviours which led her to this terrible decision. Before dying, she left a set of cassettes to each individual she considered somehow responsible of her lethal choice. The series opens with Clay Jensen, one of Hannah's friends portrayed by Dylan Minnette, receiving a set of these cassettes. He listens to them all episode after episode, discovering everything about Hannah's life, how she was feeling, and also who all the other accused people are. So the series shows us Hannah's life through a series of flashbacks presented through her voiceovers and the other characters' memories. It then shows us the life of all the people close to Hannah and their feelings after her passing. And each character has their own version of the story, their own thoughts and their own feelings, as they have all been influenced in a different manner by Hannah's life and her death. So we see the desperate parents which need answers but are also afraid of what they might uncover. Other students concerned parents which may have noticed a similar pattern in their kids' behaviour. There are ex-boyfriends, friends, teachers and so on. The main theme in this series is bullying. When we think of bullying in media, we tend to think of a minuscule kid picked on by the huge popular thug. It tends to be a very simple concept. Hannah Baker speaks of this typical idea of bullying, for example with the concept of name calling or being excluded, but she also speaks about the most dangerous form of taunting, which is made of false friendships, backstabbing, jealousy and all a series of situations which don't have immediate effects but which create long-lasting scars. She speaks of the unspeakable and of things that should never happen in school or in any other environment, and the lack of support by who should be a helping hand. Starting from Hannah's story, the plot then evolves to show us the situation of bullying other students are suffering from in all different situations, from abusive parents to sexual discrimination. Another topic presented in this series is misjudgment. Hannah Baker does not look like the typical bullied kid. On the outside, she is always happy, bright, fun, witty. She seems to have many friends. She often receives compliments about her looks, but then we realise that most of these compliments are just twisted and perverted. Her real friends are very few and her big smiles are just masks that cover her insecurities. And the series actually proves that we often don't correctly read people's emotions, their cries for help, and on the contrary we tend to misjudge people or judge them at first sight. For example, one of the characters is a very popular, very good looking athlete whose life appears to be perfectly organised in front of him, but then we discover the reality of what is going on at home and how he is suffering on a daily basis. We see determined, cute students become ferocious backstabbers, justice warriors committing crimes. The school the characters attend is plastered in posters about suicide prevention, drunk driving, beautiful colourful posters about friendship and love, messages which encourage the students to open up about their problems and to talk to someone. But these posters have only appeared after the events surrounding Hannah's death, just like the new suicide prevention meetings. All the characters on the cassettes represent a piece of the puzzle which portrays Hannah's death, and they all feel guilty, either guilty for actively doing something or guilty for just stepping back and letting things move on. Even Hannah's parents, which were loving and caring, feel guilty for not understanding her cries for help and for not being present enough. These three topics, so bullying, misjudging and guilt, all escalate throughout the series towards the final cassettes in which the plot becomes more dynamic. I really loved loved Catherine Langford's Hannah. She perfectly portrayed a teenager which is starting to step into the mysterious, fascinating and dangerous world of adulthood with all her doubts and questions. I also enjoyed Dylan Minette's Clay with all his insecurities, but which thanks to Hannah's tape grows up and proves to be the man who he is. Even Justin's character was interesting. He wasn't portrayed as the usual two-dimensional stereotyped school athlete. The only character I didn't enjoy was Tony, which was supposed to represent one of the most meaningful roles. I unfortunately found his character flat, boring, and in some moments nearly annoying and unnecessary. I think the series could possibly continue with a second season because we are left with a lot of hints and doubts. When I finished watching the first season, I wanted everything to end there. But then on the other hand, the plot had moved on from Hannah's story to many other different stories. So I want to see how all the other characters will evolve from this point onwards. I would recommend this series to anybody searching for a more realistic depiction of bullying, to anybody searching for a portrayal of bullying which isn't just the girl making fun of your hair at the party or being picked on for being still a virgin. This series is much more. It is heartbreaking, interesting, but also informative, because we often don't pay attention to the weight and impact of words. We often don't listen enough, and we also sometimes don't talk or open up as much as we should. Let me know if you saw 13 Reasons Why and what you thought about it with a comment here below, and I'll see you soon in a new video. Bye!